In 1996, the people of Varginha, Brazil, witnessed a UFO event that would change their lives forever.
Só que ele planava, ia perdendo lentamente a altitude e ia caminhando.
Call it another Roswell, if you will. It is a crashed vehicle that had beings on board.
Mas que eles não poderiam admitir a verdade, a população ia entrar em colapso.
Nada temos a esconder.
Something strange tore through the sky over Virginia, and it didn't come in quietly. NORAD picked it up first, tracking an object they couldn't identify as it dropped toward Brazil. Minutes later, it crashed near Varginha. Soldiers rushed in, but locals reached the site before them. They saw the wreck. They saw what climbed out of it. Days passed, and the town slipped into fear, rumors, and closed-door investigations.
The Virginia case is considered the most well-kept secret in the military circles of Brazil.
Dois seres extraterrestres foram capturados, depois, posteriormente, foram levados para o hospital.
The witnesses are some of the most compelling testimony I've ever heard.
Meu nome é Carlos de Souza.
Meu nome é Cátia Xavier.
Meu nome é Liliane Silva.
Meu nome é Valquíria Silva.
Em 1996, eu vi uma criatura estranha ali.
And now, reports from Virginia in the U.S. point to something similar happening again. UFO sighting in Varginha. The Varginha UFO incident is perhaps the most famous and controversial UFO story in Brazil. It centers on events reported in January 1996, which shocked the world with sightings of strange beings and UFOs. It started on January 13, 1996, when a pilot named Carlos de Souza claimed to have witnessed a damaged cigar-shaped craft while driving between São Paulo and Minas Gerais. The object emitted white smoke, and it seemed to have been damaged or malfunctioning, and then it crashed somewhere near Varginha. He followed the object briefly, but it suddenly vanished from his sight. When he went back, he found unusual debris scattered across the field. A few days later, on January 20th, 3 young women, Liliane Silva, Valquíria Fátima Silva, and Katia Andrade Xavier, encountered something shocking. This was in a vacant lot in Jardim André, a neighborhood in Varginha. These 3 women found themselves face-to-face with a small creature crouching on the ground, with oily brown skin, a large head with bumps and protrusions, and large red eyes. The being looked like it was injured or distressed, and all the women fled from the scene in fear. The creature sighting is the most shocking aspect of the Varginha case. The creatures that they described were classic alien-type imagery. It was humanoid, but not human, with unusual skin texture and eye color. It behaved in a way that frightened the witnesses. In that same month, there were many other UFO sightings in Varginha, and it was clear that something was off. Many people spotted strange crafts and UFOs in the sky. Some local farmers also saw unusual lights and vehicles in rural areas, while others started hearing strange noises or picking up weird smells related to the alleged crash or object sightings. Over the days after the initial UFO sighting, many people in Varginha saw low-flying craft and strange humanoid beings. That's what led to one of Brazil's most infamous UFO-related mysteries. With all the eyewitness accounts and sightings, the region was covered by the military in a matter of days, and word came of a cover-up. Military response, cover-up, and witness intimidation. Shortly after some locals saw the strange debris and a crashed craft, the Brazilian military descended on the site. One witness named Carlos found debris, which felt extremely light and behaved unnaturally. He said the piece was like aluminum foil, which could be crumpled and then would spring back to its original shape. As soon as he tried to inspect this material, military trucks came in from a nearby army base. They established a perimeter, and he was ordered to leave at gunpoint. Aside from the crash site, the local medical facilities became part of the military's containment operation. The wounded creature was transported under heavy security to a hospital in town, where the entire wing was cordoned off under military guard. The hospital staff and other civilians were told to deny everything if they were questioned. They were threatened, which shows that there was something to hide. It had all the makings of a cover-up. Witnesses also revealed that the operation wasn't limited to the local borders. After the initial containment, the creature and its remains were moved in a secretive military convoy during the night. The trucks left from Varginha and traveled to a more distant military facility for further handling. When you look at the haste, secrecy, and scale of the transport, it's clear that this was a coordinated cover-up. It wasn't a routine police or civil defense action, but something treated with way higher priority. To make this situation even worse, numerous witnesses, civilians who claimed to have seen crafts, debris, or creatures, revealed something shocking. They were confronted by men in suits shortly afterward. These men allegedly knew their identities, demanded silence, and offered money in exchange as long as they would retract their stories. With all the armed soldiers securing the sites, sealed-off hospitals, covert transport convoys, and intimidation of witnesses, it's clear that they were covering up information about what really happened in Varginha in January 1996. After this happened, there have been a lot of unresolved questions and controversies. Many say that this might be a hoax, while others say that this is real. But why is this UFO sighting so credible? Controversy and unresolved questions. The Varginha case attracted widespread international attention, especially through the 2022 documentary called Moment of Contact by James Fox. The movie interviewed multiple witnesses from the original civilian observers to military and hospital insiders who claimed that a UFO crash happened in 1996. Strange creatures were recovered, and a major cover-up was orchestrated. According to ufologists investigating this case, the eyewitness descriptions were consistent, as they all pointed out the same shape and size of the craft, appearance of the beings, and the smell of ammonia and sulfur lingering around hospitals and towns. All of these make the UFO sighting even more credible. But this case is deeply controversial because of the cover-up that followed. Official investigations by Brazilian authorities concluded that the creature that the three young women saw, which was meant to be the core alien sighting, wasn't extraterrestrial at all. Instead, they said it was a local homeless man, known by the nickname Mudinho. Mudinho had physical and mental disabilities, often appeared dirty or covered in mud, and was known to crouch near walls and wander the streets. Under dim light and stressful conditions, these circumstances might have caused them to misidentify the UFO. The military also denied any alien crash or capture, and said that all their vehicle movements in the area were routine and not secret recovery missions. But many skeptics don't think that this entire ordeal was real, and they point to the lack of physical evidence. There weren't any verified photographs, preserved debris, publicly available hospital or autopsy records, radar data, or documents of foreign military involvement. The entire case depends on eyewitness testimonies that have shown contradictions, evolving descriptions, and influence from media and cultural expectations. They say that this case might have been because of mass hysteria, rumor, and sensationalism, making ordinary events dramatic claims of alien contact. But many said that there was no proof simply because of the cover-up. After all, if the government was covering up the case, they wouldn't exactly keep records of UFO-related flights, hospital logs, or forensic proof. Despite all of these, the UFO sighting in Varginha remains one of the most shocking in the world. But this isn't the only strange case out there, as a video circulating now is attracting the attention of governmental bodies and scientists around the world. UFO crash in the mountains.
I was just driving around checking out the mountain since the hunting roads are opened up, and I saw something bright come down from the sky. Looks like some kind of extraterrestrial vehicle crashed up here on the mountaintop.
A shocking video circulating online shows what could be one of the most unusual extraterrestrial sightings to happen recently. A driver navigating a remote mountain road noticed a bright object rapidly descending from the sky. The object, unlike any conventional aircraft, had the classic flying saucer shape, but it was even weirder, with a rounded top and a flat bottom. It lacked wings, propellers, or any visible exhaust. It didn't look like a normal plane, drone, or helicopter in any way. The driver, drawn by curiosity and concern, followed the object to the mountaintop, and they found a crash site. The landscape around the site was eerily quiet, punctuated by strange, unidentifiable noises coming from the wreckage. In the video, you can see the individual cautiously approaching the craft, capturing glimpses of its strange structure, metallic sheen, and apparent intact condition despite the crash. What makes the footage especially compelling is what happened afterwards. The driver saw a being near the craft, and it was definitely not human. They attempted to communicate, then asked whether the being came in peace, but there was no response. Witnesses watching the video online noticed the person's obvious fear, which escalated as the entity's presence became more obvious. At several points, the driver started to wonder whether this was safe or not. He quickly ran away from the spot and went home. Details from the footage suggest that the craft isn't like anything in human aviation. With no visible propulsion system, wings, or standard aeronautical features, the object's design challenges any standard explanations. The crash site itself was largely intact, and there were no signs of explosive damage, so it was probably a controlled or unusually soft impact. The combination of the craft's unconventional shape, sudden descent from the sky, and the humanoid entity near it has caused a lot of questions among UFO enthusiasts and experts alike. Authorities haven't confirmed the incident, but the video quickly went viral, causing many to question the event. Meanwhile, in Virginia, there have been stranger UFO sightings that have caused many experts to look into the situation. 2019 Strange Sightings. In the early hours of April 4, 2019, two separate UFO sightings in southeastern Virginia captured the attention of local residents and the wider UFO watching community. The first report came from a witness in Virginia Beach, Virginia, who said they saw a light blue circular craft darting around the sky at 6:48 a.m., heading east. Its shape and color were unlike any normal aircraft. Just 7 minutes later, at 6:55 a.m., a second report emerged from a witness that was near Norfolk Naval Station, about 23 miles northwest of the first sighting. The observers saw a green, glowing, shooting star-like object streaking across the sky. Unlike a meteor or conventional aircraft, the object was moving silently and lacked any familiar flight pattern. Then, it disappeared from view, after only around 10 seconds. These two reports were submitted to the National UFO Reporting Center, which logs sightings from ordinary citizens across the United States. Virginia has recorded hundreds of UFO sightings over the years, and 209 was no exception. The 2019 incidents stand out because the two reports occurred within minutes of each other and involved very different but unusual observations. It was a circular light blue craft and had a brief green glowing streak. The timing and locations, one coastal and one military adjacent, added to speculation about whether the objects were related or not. Local media and UFO interest outlets also revealed that these sightings came in a place that had a long history of UFOs, especially around the broader Hampton Roads region. In fact, over decades, the region has seen many reports involving Navy pilots, strange lights off the coast, and unexplained UFOs. Skeptics caution that many such reports might be from misidentifications of aircraft, satellites, drones, balloons, or astronomical phenomena, especially under dawn or dusk lighting conditions. But this isn't the only time Virginia had to deal with a wave of UFOs. In a period in the 1900s, Virginian residents reported multiple UFO sightings over a couple of years. Valley UFO Wave. In the winter of 1964, what started as a single dramatic sighting near Fisherville, Virginia, quickly became a wave of UFO reports across the Shenandoah Valley. There was a period of intense public concern and widespread speculation. On December 21, 1964, a local gunsmith named Horace Burns was driving along U.S. Route 250 when his car suddenly stalled. Moments later, he claimed to see a vast metallic object descending from the sky. Burns described the craft as a kind of upside-down spinning top that was roughly 125 feet wide and 90 feet tall. It was glowing with a bluish underside as it landed some 100 yards from the road. He said the object remained motionless for up to 90 seconds before rising silently and speeding away. Within days, the flurry of sightings began. Between December 1964 and May 1965, more than 35 separate UFO reports emerged across Augusta County and the surrounding valley region. These included lights in the sky, strange objects hovering or gliding overhead, and a wide range of eyewitness testimonies from rural fields to small-town streets. The surge in reports caused panic among some residents. Local churches said that these were ominous signs, but community patrols were formed by the townspeople who feared that there would be an alien invasion. Newspapers of the time published stories of ships, bright lights, and fearful locals, and some even claimed to have seen human-like figures on the ground at night. The alleged landing near Fishersville drew the attention of Project Blue Book, the U.S. Air Force's official UFO investigation program, which dispatched investigators to the site in early 1965. Their findings, however, were inconclusive. The official report found no ground scars, no signs of a wreck, no corroborating witnesses besides Burns, and no proof that a craft had touched down. Despite initial high Geiger counter readings reportedly taken by a local professor, investigators later dismissed these as unreliable or unremarkable. Even if the case was closed, the Valley residents didn't accept the Air Force's verdict. Many independent reports kept alive the belief that something truly inexplicable had occurred. Others argue that the wave is a classic example of mass hysteria, social contagion, or misidentification under stress and poor visibility. Even after all these years, the UFO wave remains a source of fascination, and about a decade before that happened, pilots saw UFOs in Virginia, this time in a strange formation. Nash Fortenberry, UFO sighting. On the evening of July 14, 1952, two experienced commercial pilots, William B. Nash and William H. Fortenberry, were aboard a Pan American Airways DC-4 airliner flying over the Chesapeake Bay en route from New York to Miami. As their aircraft cruised at 8,000 feet and approached Norfolk, Virginia, their night changed dramatically. At 8:12 p.m. Eastern Time, the sky lit up with a strange red glow appearing several miles ahead. What started as a distant light soon dissolved into 6 glowing, disc-shaped objects, flying in a tight echelon formation at roughly 2,000 feet, well below the airliner. The pilots described the discs as perfectly circular, their edges sharp and well-defined, not fuzzy or phosphorescent, with upper surfaces glowing a vivid red-orange tone, brighter than the city lights below. As the DC-4 approached, the objects appeared to accelerate rapidly, closing in on the plane with apparent purposeful maneuvering. Nash noted their approach speed, and trajectory gave the impression of intentional, controlled motion rather than random celestial phenomena. As the glowing disks drew beneath the aircraft, they executed a shocking movement. All 6 of them flipped on edge, instantly changing course with what the pilots called a ricochet off a wall, then raced away at high velocity. Moments later, 2 additional saucer-shaped objects emerged from behind the plane and joined the formation, bringing the total to 8. In an astonishing end, all 8 objects then shot off in unison, ascending and climbing rapidly until they vanished from sight. Stunned, Nash and Fortenberry radioed the sighting to the Norfolk Civil Aviation Authority and requested the report be forwarded to the military. Upon landing, the 2 were interviewed separately by U.S. Air Force officers who debriefed them at length. The case was classified under the official UFO investigation program, Project Blue Book, as unknown. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. So, thanks for watching this video, and we will see you in the next one.